Hello, everyone. Very excited to be here. Very excited to be here today. Um, Welcome to the Dr. Nia Adesanya show. I know we're still saying podcast, but I mentioned last week that is now fully a show. Just trying to navigate that podcast thing. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to stick to the show and I'm not going into the technicality of doing the show and the podcast. So very excited to have everybody here. Again, want to appreciate everyone that has actually commented, watched, supported this channel. Really wanted to say a big and a huge thank you. It's been exciting. I'm trying my best to be consistent, and it's just been exciting. And I have a heart full of gratitude. So I'm happy to be here today. And again, even if you don't watch live, know that the videos are on the website. When you have time, just go to the YouTube channel. I won't say website, YouTube channel, and watch the show. Watch past shows and comment, and good, get some information from there, good information that would, just give you, great knowledge base on helping small and medium enterprises thrive. All right. Okay. So today I'm going to talk about another interesting topic, and that topic is all about centralization or decentralization in management. Centralization versus decentralization in management. Now, if you own an SME, small or medium-sized enterprise, or small or medium-sized business, if you do that, if you own and you're the only person in the business, you might say this doesn't apply to you, but of course your business is going to grow. Definitely will grow. And it's important for you to understand what is centralized management, or organizational structure, and what is decentralized organizational structure. Now, for centralized organizational structure, it's all about you, generally the management or the manager, right? I'm talking about SMEs because usually for SMEs, there are not many levels of, maybe there are not thousands of levels of management as in large companies. Now, what happens is that as an SME, as a small and medium-sized enterprise, only if you're the owner, like manager or of that company, of that company, usually for centralized, all the decisions come from you. That's what it means. You have to give the go ahead. You have to make sure that everything is good to go. You are the beginning and the end of decision making, right? So that's why I said, don't think that if you're the only one working in your company, this doesn't apply to you. Eventually, as you continue to grow, it will apply. So that is centralized. Only the management, you are the one that makes all the decisions, right? That's centralization. Decentralization looks at where it's like other people in the company are responsible, or they can make decisions for that company. They can make decisions for that company. So generally, that's what it is. It's like a team. Sometimes, I will explain. Well, towards the end of this discussion, I will explain to you how you can actually make it work. I will give you my own suggestion. You decide on what you want to do. Okay. Now, what is the good thing about centralization, right? Centralization means that you are the one that, decides, so any mistake, you know what you want in your business. So you decide. It's somehow, like I would say, is efficient because it's what you want. It's not like somebody says, you know what, I didn't really hear what you said as a manager or the owner of the company, so I made a mistake. So you decide. All the decisions come from you, all right? Comes from you, so that's the thing. Everything comes from you. Okay, so you decide. You're the one that decides. So really, all those, could there be a mistake? Or nope, you decide. If you make a mistake, it means that you made the mistake. It's not like someone didn't understand what you were saying, or really someone did not didn't know what you meant. Maybe the person understood what you said, but didn't really know how you wanted it to be implemented, right? So that is the great thing about centralization, right? Now, the thing about centralization, the only thing about, well, there are many, I'm not, let me start by saying that, well, let me continue by saying that I'm not going to list all the advantages or disadvantages because of time. I just have, usually I just come on for a short period of time. So I'll just highlight some of the advantages and some of the disadvantages. Okay, so when is decentralization on the other side, the good thing, we're talking about the good now before we talk about the bad, right? The good thing about decentralization is that, you know what, sometimes people in a specific field know what they're doing. They don't have to come to management. They say, okay, you know what, this guy knows he's in charge of marketing. He knows what we need to put the money into what area. He knows how to do the analysis. So he's in charge of marketing. He makes the decisions because that's his expertise, right? Someone is in charge of maybe somebody's in charge with customer retention, right? Marketing is one thing, bringing on somebody. Another person might be saying, okay, you know what, I want to always reach out to the customer. The person knows, maybe he wants to send a gift for somebody's birthday, things like that. This person is in charge, customer retention. So, and then another person might be in charge of IT. He knows, okay, this is efficient, this machine is not, or this computer is not doing well. This is his or her field. So she knows, or he knows what to do when there's something wrong with the computer or the system, or it's not as efficient because there's a new model out. So that is what decentralization does. It allows people to say, okay, you know what, this is my area, and I will do my best to make sure that whatever I do for the company, or with any decision I make for the company, is for the company's benefit. All right. That is decentralization. All right. So let's look at, so you said, okay, then what are disadvantages or advantages? Now, the issue about this decentralization is that it's all about management, right? It's all about management. And I mean, like, if the management, maybe there's something that a system is going down. If the management doesn't approve, it doesn't move forward. Okay, it doesn't move forward. So that's really, that really slows processes down, and there might be an issue there, because how about if there's something, maybe a machinery breaks and you need to replace it, and the manager or owner of the company has traveled for maybe for a meeting somewhere, maybe a training somewhere, and you can't reach the person, or could be anything, right? And you have to make a decision. You can't do that when it's centralized, because management has to decide everything, right? The management has to decide everything. Now, for the structural, when it comes to the structure, when there's decentralization, well, the issue there could be another disadvantage that, okay, how about if the marketing person has the expertise, but he's just on a spending spree because, oh yeah, everything I do, I know is right? Or the customer retention person spends money that really could have been avoided, right? Maybe the customer retention person decides to spend money, buy gifts even for the children of the of your customer. So there are some things that that they might do that is not even necessary, but because they are in charge and there's decentralization, it becomes an issue. All right. So you might ask, okay, what do we do when it comes to centralization and decentralization? How do we go about it if that's the case, right? So what do we do to move forward? What kind of structure do I need to have? Now, if you're the only one in your company, of course, as I said, for future reference, this would be a place for you to check and see, okay, what do I do? But if you have other experts working for you, one of the things that I would say is that one of the suggestions is, number one, I would say don't give it so everybody a blanket approval. Should I say a blanket? Yeah, approval to do what they want. Okay, I would say there should be yardsticks. They should say, okay, you know what, maybe thresholds. Okay, if you're into marketing, you're allowed to spend up to the amount. Anything else, let's discuss it. Right? If there's anything, oh, okay, something broke, if it's something that we can just fix, I don't have to know about it if it's within a certain limit. Here and there, of course, you might say, okay, how do you know if somebody's reliable? You do spot checks. You say, okay, here and there, you do spot checks. I know that's what auditors do, but you might not want to every time doing spot check with auditors. You can do that here and there, but you want to do a spot check to see if the person is not trying to be funny when the person is spending money. Spot check to see, and because yes, then if it's a higher level of expenses of decision making, everybody has to come to you to decide if this is what you want. It's what is acceptable to you. Okay, so you can actually do, yes, not fully decentralization and not fully centralization. You have spending limits. Yeah, in that way, you might say, okay, this is decentralization, really, because they are actually making some or making decisions without really coming to you. You might say, well, it's really towards decentralization. But I just feel that it's also important for you to put checks and balances in place. And of course, as you are the owner of the company, it's good to know what's happening in your company. And when we're talking about thresholds, how much should be the threshold? It depends on so many factors. You could look at how big is your company as an SME. Will somebody spending $10,000 or $20,000 make a big dent? What is it that if you look at your revenue, you look at so many factors. You look at what is it that you are doing? It could be, are you into market manufacturing? That might be different. Are you into a service industry? Now, a service industry, really, usually there's no big urgency that, okay, we have to get money really immediately. Maybe I would say for IT, or maybe there's something that is an emergent. Well, it depends on what service industry you're in. There could be some kind of case you need to deal with immediately. So things like that, but again, there's no amount here. What is the exact number? No. You have to look at your company and look at your entity and look at your company or your entity and what is in the background, what is needed, what is required, and then you can come up with a threshold. But I strongly feel, again, is my suggestion, that I strongly feel that having everything on top, that everything has to be approved by the owner of the company. It really slows down things. It really hampers growth to a certain extent. That's what I would say. Hampers growth to a certain extent. All right. So that is my own take. Again, see what actually works for you. Some people will say, yes, it hampers growth, but maybe I've been hit with fraud so many times. And so I'm going to still stick to my centralization. I want to make the decision. It's all about me. I'm going to make the decision. Well, I believe one of my shows, I spoke about how to really prevent fraud to a certain extent, right? All of us would like to prevent fraud to 100% prevention. Yes, we would love that. And I would say that I would say that yes, I won't say it's impossible, but it's difficult to say, okay, 100%, that there's no, there's no fraud. But it's not that it's 100% easy, but it's doable. It's possible that you can work on processes to make sure that, this thing, fraud will not happen, so that you can move away from this, from centralization, right? And, just, get into decentralization to a certain extent. But again, when it comes to checking your accounts, there are ways you can check your account. Again, it depends on the size of your business. You can ask for an auditor to come and audit the books, right? You can get a CFE, a fraud examiner, to check if there's any fraud here and there. Just making sure that there are ways you can do checks and balances. And one thing I noticed And if the staff know that there are checks and balances here and there, it actually refrains them from even committing fraud. Yes, if they know that they're going to be checked, there's going to be somebody that will police them, really police us, checking their work or checking how they spend money. Of course, they'll be very careful. And of course, always do, when you look at finances, always do analysis to see, okay, where, like this spending, why is this account, why is there more money spent compared to last month, and see really if there's any large maybe difference. Why is this amount? We spent 10,000 this month, we're spending 15,000. Why is there a huge jump like that? Why we were from 10,000 to 15,000? That's additional 50%. Why? What's happening? So just checking the analysis. But so in a nutshell, it's so important for you to really check how you want to make your business thrive, right? Ways to make your business thrive. That's the goal of this platform, how to make your business thrive as a small and medium-sized enterprise. Okay? All right. Okay, I know we're expecting a guest today. So I think she's about to log in. We have a guest that wants to share. Let's see if she's actually here. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Expecting the guest any moment now. Okay. So as we're waiting for our guest, I would add a couple of things. I'm very excited because I know I mentioned that there are a couple of things that I'm working on regarding not only this platform, but a couple of things I'm working on. I was going to tell you that I will really give you that surprise, but I will do that. I think our guest is here at the end of the program. Okay, towards the end. Okay. Hello. I don't think we can see you, and we can. Let's see.
Okay, give me a minute, please.
Okay. So we have Mrs. Jade here. Yes. We have Mrs. Jade here. She's Jade. We call her Jade. She's actually an international author. She writes books, and I want to thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you having, spending time, because usually when people come on this platform, they are here to share some of their challenges. And when they share, I know that somebody out there that is listening will benefit from it. So really appreciate your time. So she writes books, and it's really amazing. And I'm very happy that she's here. And the great thing is, I think she actually sent a book. So let me see if I can just, I'm very excited. Let's see if I can just see, just awesome. I think this is your book, right?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
When changes come.
Yes. Awesome. So wanted to appreciate you for this. I really appreciate the book. And she just sent me this just before we started, and I just wanted to appreciate her because it's been the book is really interesting. All right. So thank you for sending this to us. Really appreciate it, and really thank you for being here. All right. So let me hear about what are some of the challenges that you have experienced as a business owner?
So
being in the forefront.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Ini, for inviting me to your show. I really appreciate it. And so I would say the challenge, or the major challenge I would say I've experienced as an author is book marketing. It's one thing to write a book, it's another thing to market it. And for me personally, I don't wear both hats. I wear the hat of the creative writer, and then when I finish writing, I'm done. You understand? Awesome. But then after that, who gets to read my books? Nobody, unless I get it promoted and marketed. And if you're self-published, that's the major challenge that you will go through, because a publishing company would do that marketing aspect for you. But as a self-published author, it's up to you to promote your book and to market it and to monitor your sales and just to do everything. So like you're like a one-man company, both creative and financial at the same time.
Awesome. You know, at least this is all small businesses, they have this issue. So don't even, I know she's an author, but small businesses, try to wear all the hats, right? And I really want to, because let me tell you guys, I've been trying to write my book. With a book I started last year, and I'm still like in a few chapters. So I'm hoping that I'll finish it this year. But so when somebody can put that creative writing on paper and actually publish a book, I have to say kudos to you. Great job. Kudos to you, because I am still, they said, I think I heard about writer's block, but that's another program one of these days. Now, you talked about, marketing, which is, this is not an uncommon problem for many small businesses. But I want to ask you, how many people actually know around you that you've even written a book? How have you gone personally? Because a lot of us don't know that there's organic marketing. That you can actually go out and go to forums, go and, for meetups, go out, because a book, anybody can read a book. Your book is not like a technical book that is for special courses, but your book is for entertainment. People can relax and read it. So one of the things I would say is that, how do you go out? You go out, some of us feel that, and I'm talking to everybody that is listening, we feel that our neighborhood should not be, they are not those that we market to because we already know them. But that's not true. We have people, we have communities, we have churches, we have, some of us go to the gym. Some of us, there are so many places that you have to, actually interact with people and let people know. Because it's how one person will read, another person will read, and then another person will read it. It's just somebody actually saying that and telling them. But a lot of us, it's not, we might feel that until we get large marketing companies. No, you can actually go out and talk to people about what you do, and talk to people about your book. Not, everybody knows what you do, I believe, but talk to people about your book. So I would say that one of the things you need to do is be more out there. I've heard about even book signing. That's something that you might even, it doesn't even have to be a big book signing, but getting out there. And then also, social media, right? One thing is that, the theme of your book, right? There are some communities in social media that actually would appreciate such a book on that platform. So I would say that, yes, organic marketing, right? And one thing I love about social media is one of the cheapest form of marketing. So you have to look at who are your target market? Like, who are those that, that platform, again, on Facebook, on any social media platform. I wouldn't even Facebook, there are so many Meta, all kinds of social media platform. But in addition to that, what about your neighborhood? What about our friends? How many times have we spoken to people that are around us? And that's what I would advise, is that you have to, go out there and, let people know. In the church, let them talk about it in church. Oh, I have that. Have you guys read this? When you go, and then start going for network meetings, because a lot of times we, all of us work hard, and sometimes we want to relax. And if you have a book like that, so I would say that, how have you done that? Have you, some of us are just waiting until the big companies come and market us. No. What are we doing? And another thing that I don't know if this is something that you're looking at, but putting your book making your book a show, sitcom, or a movie. I don't know if that's something you're looking at, right? So just getting your script out, getting your book out there, and let people see it, right? It's just somebody can say, you know what, I really like this. I'm picking it up to do something about it. So that's what I would just I just push. And I also want to stress here that what really I know I mentioned this with a lot of people that come to this platform. Mrs. Thompson is actually a scientist. She's actually a scientist, and so this is actually a side hustle that has become real. So I'm just saying, people out there, she's a scientist that actually is doing, is a writer, So I just want to really commend you for that, and just ask you to, at least you need to push yourself out there and do more than just, do more than just waiting, right? The one of the things we say on this, or I say on this platform, is in the word intentional, right? To be a small and medium-sized enterprise that is thriving, wants to thrive, you have to, the word intentional should be your keyword every time, right? So I hope that has helped a little bit, right?
Yeah, that has helped. That's helped. You've actually given me some pointers, especially, joining networking events and just keeping the word out there, telling people,
exactly,
letting it grow organically. So it's nothing like a major work that has to be done, but going the old-fashioned way, just by word of mouth.
I mean, you just, and even social media, get it out there. Find groups that you can just say, this is something that you're doing, and get it out there. I just believe that will make a difference. All right.
Thank you.
So I think
we have
no problem. We have time for, I think, one more question. So please go ahead and share.
Okay, so the second one will be with regards to sales. That's okay. So it's one thing to market, then you make the sales. Just being able to keep track of the sales. Like for me personally, I can't say off my head how many books I've sold.
Oh, wow.
I haven't really kept track properly of that. So I decided, what, let's all things have passed away. I'll start again this year. I'll start to keep a good record from this year. So I don't know if there's any advice, any pointers you can give me in terms of being able to keep track of my sales and decide, what is profits, what is,
okay. But that, maybe you don't even know, if maybe you're already a millionaire, you don't even know that. That's so I would say that I believe that you sell on a platform, right? You sell on a platform. They give you accounts on that, right?
So I have multiple platforms. So I sell on Amazon. It's available on Amazon, but I also have my own direct sales that I give to people, and then also family members have sold, and all that. So in terms of the exact number, I can't give myself an exact number.
I would say that, first of all, you should have a separate account for the revenue that comes in for the sale of those books. Do you have a separate account for that, or it just comes into your personal account?
So it comes into my personal account.
Okay, you have to have a separate account. With a separate account, right? And then also, I know that, this 2023, you have to also know the inventory. How many do you actually have at this? Maybe I don't want to talk about January and February, because you said you're not, but let's talk about from today. Just know how many books you have right now, wherever it is, or the books are, I would say wherever they are. Now, if the books are on a platform that they, like maybe one of these sales platforms, it's easy for you to find where the books, the number you sell there. But other people, you need to find out, look at what you have right now in inventory, and then also, have a separate account. With having a separate account, and I would say also, if you, of course you can work on the accountant, but if you have a separate account, you can actually determine, this week I sold how many, because it's a separate account. When it's mixing with all your personal things and your personal account, is going to be very difficult. And I encourage everybody, and that's one of the things I talk about for SMEs. I say that make sure you have a separate account. Make sure that you have a separate account for your business, right? Okay. Make sure you have a separate account for your business and have a separate account for your personal transactions. So that will really help. Hope that's helpful.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank you very much.
Yes. So, it's good, because when you separate, it helps. I know that, when it comes to revenue, I know that a lot of times, and even deduction, because I don't know if you're even taking deductions about Okay, I think she's.
Oh, yeah, my video, I think you can still hear me. I can still hear you, but
Okay.
my
Okay, your video went
connection
off.
went off.
Okay. Okay, we're almost about done. So, okay, so yeah, technology, we love it, but you know how technology is. And so I would say that you should try your best to separate them, your expenses and your income, because at the end of the day, your income, in a bank, if your income is in separate account, even when you're spending money out of that, you can actually easily track those expenses. So it's very important.
Right.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I
Yes,
really
I wish you could
appreciate
see
it.
your bye-bye before you leave, but if the video
Unless
just
you are,
messed,
if you allow me to reconnect again, then
of course you are
we
free.
can do
You
that.
can.
So I'll just come and go and come back.
Okay, yes, let's just
Yeah.
see you and tell us bye-bye.
Okay.
But if that's okay, let's just say tell her that she's done well and really appreciate. I don't know. Sometimes technology, we love it, but sometimes it can disappoint here and there. But I'm really happy that she was able to attend this meeting today because I mean, as an author, there's so many small businesses that everybody is in front. Those small businesses that are just out there, that they're everything, that they are in front of the line. So doing everything. All right. All right.
Okay, I'm
Yes. So
back.
awesome. No problem. I know how technology
Okay.
works. It happens. And
Yeah.
so really, wanted to make sure you understand to separate your business and your personal account is very, very important. And then every week, and you just know, even if you send it out to your family, friends, you send it out to your siblings, to your relation, you actually know, okay, this is how much I've sent out, right? This is how much. So you know who has how many, right? And then you know how many is coming back. So it's very important for you to know that. All right.
That's
So
right.
awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming on today. Thank you so much. The technology wanted to mess us up, but we're happy you're back. So I appreciate you. And thank you for spending time and to share with us, and again, congratulations for your books and or your books coming and just kudos again. All right. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
No problem.
All right.
Okay.
Then.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Okay. So we're now on the third segment, or yes, this is the question segment. Okay. The first question is, my spouse and I own an LLC. We're thinking of changing our business structure. Do we have to close the LLC to do that? This is a very straightforward answer. No, you do not have to close the LLC because a business, I would say if you own an LLC with your spouse, that it's both of you, your part is a partnership. And so you can elect to be either C corporation or an S corporation. So no, you don't have to close the LLC to become either C corporation or an S corporation. That's what I would assume because if you're already an LLC, the next thing is going up to, from my understanding, maybe you want to change it to something else, LLP, or you can, I don't know what you want to change it to, but if you want to change it to a corporation or an S corp, no, you don't have to close that, your business. Okay, you don't have to close it. You just have to file an election, right? Of course, there are conditions, the time, the dates, and things like that, but the answer is no. Okay. Okay. The question is, I have some back employment taxes for my employees. Iris is saying that it's a trust fund. I do not have a trust. Please explain. Okay. Let me explain to you why IRS is saying that those back employment taxes is a trust fund. Okay, we're not talking about a trust, right? We're talking about a trust fund. Now, when you pay your employees, right? You withhold some amounts, right? The amounts are the tax, which is the federal income tax. You withhold FICA, which is Medicare and Social Security tax. That's what you do, right? Now, apparently, what happens because you have back employment taxes, you did not remit those taxes to the IRS. You didn't remit it. Now, when IRS says that it's a trust fund, it's because when you withhold or when you withheld these amounts from your employees' paycheck or payments, when you withheld, it meant that they trusted you that you remit that money to the IRS. They trusted you because that money is not yours. You withheld that money because you were supposed to remit that money to the Internal Revenue Service. So that is why the IRS says it's a trust fund penalty. A trust fund, because it was based on trust that the employees said, yes, you're deducting my payroll taxes so that you can add or send it to IRS to add to my Medicare, Social Security, and also pay my taxes. But you did not do that. So yes, you don't have a trust. Yes, you don't have a trust, but it is a trust fund penalty. Okay? Trust fund penalty. So I hope that explains. And I want to tell you, please, if you have back taxes, back employment taxes, please pay. Pay it as soon as possible or make arrangements to pay. Because if you don't do that, that is actually it's even more serious because of this trust fund. The penalties, the payment plans, the installment plan for trust fund is very strict compared to other taxes owed. The trust fund is very strict. So please, if you're owing that, sit down with the IRS and say, okay, how do I make sure that that I don't have issues, and make sure you pay those taxes. Okay? All right. Okay, the next question. I have a child that is less than 16. I heard somewhere that if he works for me, I do not have to pay FICA taxes or FUTA taxes. Is that true? Okay, so this child is less than 16 and he works for the parent and asking if he can exempt from FICA taxes and FUTA taxes. Well, it depends. Now, IRS actually encourages people to employ their family members. You might say, oh, but this child is only 16. What is it? What kind of work is he doing? It could be shredding. That's not, it could be, we're not looking at that, but he can still do work for a company. He can work, is allowed. Now, FICA taxes will not apply if this parent is the company structure is a sole proprietorship. Okay, FICA taxes. Well, let's look at FICA before we talk about FUTA. FICA taxes, Medicare and Social Security taxes. If this person, if the person that's asking this question, if the person is a sole proprietorship, the structure, the person's company is a sole proprietorship, yes, the person doesn't have to pay Medicare and Social Security taxes does not have to withhold Medicare and Social Security taxes for this child that is less than 16. All right. Now, if this parent has a partnership, if the company structure is a partnership, now it will be a yes if both parents own the partnership. Hope you get that. If both parents own the partnership. Now, if one parent is a partner with another person, right? Parent A is a partner in this, maybe with another, maybe a friend of his or a friend of hers. What happens is that person, that child, there will have to be FICA taxes on that child's, that FICA taxes withheld and paid for that child. So the condition is that it has to be a sole proprietorship or a partnership that is owned by both parents, okay? And then, of course, the child has to be less than 16 or less, okay? So that's when the answer would be yes. You do not have to pay FICA taxes. Okay, now let's move to FUTA. FUTA is federal unemployment taxes. Now, this is a tax. Unlike FICA taxes, there's withholding on the 16-year-old or less, 16-year-old or less's paycheck or payroll, and the company also has to pay, right? That's what, that's FICA, is both sides. But if it's 16 years old or less, doesn't have to pay. It is a sole proprietorship or a partnership owned by both parents. Now, for FUTA, FUTA is an federal unemployment taxes paid by the employer only by the employer. So in this case, if it's a sole proprietorship and owned by a parent, FUTA does not apply for this 16-year-old or less, if it's less than 16. And if it's a partnership owned by both parents, yes. Now, if it's a partnership owned by somebody else other than the parents, nope, that will not apply. Now, for FUTA, is a bit different. FUTA, the age threshold increases to 21 years of age. All right, 21 years of age. Okay. Now, remember, these are the structures. If there's any structure that is different from this, the FICA taxes will apply and FUTA taxes will apply. Okay. Now, also make sure you know that the federal income tax applies in all situations. I know you didn't ask about federal income tax, but I want to add that it applies in all situations. Okay. So depending on the age. So again, employ your children. Beautiful time. I actually have an episode about the benefit of employing family members, right? So please go ahead and employ your family members. But I want to state one caveat here. Please, when you're employing children that are underage, right, that are not up to the age of majority, please make sure that you follow the rules of employment, labor laws. Don't overwork your child because you want to you can't even do that because that's illegal. So make sure you check how many hours a child can work so that you will not have issues because you're employing your child and you're so excited that, oh, there's no FICA taxes. I'm so excited. So because he can work as many hours as he likes. No, make sure that you are following the labor laws when you're employing your child and when he's working for that in your company for those number of hours. Okay. All right. Okay. So, I said I was going to share something exciting with everybody. I know there are some, there are some courses or presentations over the years. I've actually presented so many courses, and I've noticed that a lot of people, when I present, oh, I didn't know this, I wish I had known more. So because of that, I have a drive to actually put courses online. And by next week, when I come on next week, I will give details, but I'm very excited that I'm putting some of my courses online, and hopefully anybody that goes and takes any of the courses, it will help the person actually understand some of the concepts, like, when it comes to payroll taxes, like this question on payroll taxes, there's a course on payroll taxes. The question on business structure, there's a course on business structure. Somebody's asking about if I need to close my business, the LLC, the cost on that. Trust fund, the cost is actually on employment taxes. So working on some of the details, and by next week, so many of the few or the remaining details will be streamlined, and I'll be able to give you more information. So again, remember, just like I told Mrs. Jade Thompson, that is very important that you have to be intentional. If you want to do well in your business, small, medium-sized enterprise, you have to be intentional. Even in this year, in everything, you just have to be intentional. You have to make sure that you are intentional in the way you do things. All right. So happy that you guys could join me today. Really excited that I am able to, come here this Tuesday. So I will definitely see you. I will see you by God's grace next week. Bye for now.